So that one's totally capped off and ready to go. Still got some nectar. Weighs a bunch.
This was great. I really enjoyed it. I just thought the subject matter was interesting and topical. I didn't realize there was talk of colony collapses as far back as 2007 and 8, as is mentioned in the film. I thought it was, or at least I guess for someone who hasn't been paying attention, for me, I thought it was a much more recent concern. So just knowing that these issues have been going on for 20 years, mostly unheeded, was eye opening. This was a really informative documentary. Everything was just dissected really well, presented really well. It's just a delight to see someone really take such care of bees and just have such a passion for their work, for such an important issue as beekeeping. But yeah, this doc I thought was really great, strong, put together really well, and I enjoyed it.
Behold. I love the title. I love a play on words, and this goes perfectly. It's so cute. It goes perfect with this film, this DocuPod, which I've never heard of. I love that they put the definition of that right at the beginning: a short immersive documentary film paired with the informative and entertaining audio of podcasting. Very interesting. I thought this was very informative, and I loved that there was visuals for it. With the bees, the opening music was beautiful and just really great, and also it was just nice music use throughout. I didn't think it needed a lot of music, and there wasn't a lot. I thought it was used perfectly for this. Again, nice visuals, especially of the bees. I think that just a podcast wouldn't be as good for me as being able to see the bees and how they're working, how these people are caring for the bees in the urban setting. And I love how the one guy said it's like going into another person's hives, or going into another person's hives is like going into a woman's purse. Very good description. I totally got it right after he said that. So really well described. I love how he says that they build trust with the bees, and the bees, do what they can to make their environment work, which means they're very adaptable, which is interesting, but that they have respect for the bees and a trust with the bees, and they build them more of a mansion and not just a little tiny home. I like that a lot. I was curious, like if a honeybee ever actually gets to go out and fly around and just be free. I don't know how long they can be a honeybee and contribute honey. I really don't know any of that, so that would have been nice to have seen. But otherwise, I thought it was very informative. I like how he said that one bee contributes 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey, which I thought was really crazy. I thought it would be more than that. And they're very selfless. And maybe there's a better way, he said. And I like his thoughts. I like how he's respectable to the bees and the environment and trying to do his part. And I like how he talks about social media being a distraction and things like that. So really well done. I enjoyed this a lot and would love to see more and have more information on how bees, how long they can I don't even know how long a bee lives, or, contributing the honey, does that contribute to their lifespan? So I'd love to hear more about that. Great job.
Behold. At first, when this started, I was a little bit confused because it started with the advertisement from their sponsors. I kind of wish that there was something that prepared you for that, even if it was text that said a word from our sponsors. But when the actual film started, I loved the cinematography. And I think that the music in this film fit it so well. It was really educational and fascinating, and I loved what he was doing. The work that he was doing is so important with the bees. the various camera angles that the filmmakers used were amazing, and especially like the drone shots that they did. I think that they had a beautiful combination of candid footage and then interview style footage, shots that were actually set up. So yeah, it was great.
The most striking aspect of this documentary is its cinematography. Every shot is rich, intimate, and full of character. Visually, it's stunning, and I generally enjoyed watching every frame. Beyond that, the film captures the artistic process in such a compelling way. The subject is incredibly charismatic and lovable, and following his journey felt both inspiring and emotional. It delves into a world I know a little about, making it even more engaging for me. One small note at the beginning: the DocuPod explanation on the form felt, I think, a bit unnecessary. Hey. Almost like justifying the film's existence. So letting the story unfold naturally would have been stronger for me. Maybe you could put instead a vocabulary term relevant to the subject, but honestly, that's a minor detail in an otherwise beautifully crafted, well-paced, and thoughtfully told documentary, which was a joy to watch.
I really liked Beehold. I like the title. I think that was clever. All the bee puns I was rocking with. Um, I always say the strength of a documentary is the subject matter, and I've always thought bees were interesting as far as like they're low key like powerhouses as far as with the ecosystem, as far as all the stuff that they do. You know, they're really good, and but they're also endangered. And I think I'm always on board for a bee documentary that shows their importance, you know, and also like how to take care of them and all that stuff. I didn't know that bees could basically live in whatever container. I thought they had to be in those like crate things. So like I learned something new is my point. Um, so great job. That's kind of the goal in a documentary like this, I feel like. So well done.